Okay, so that was my main struggle back in the day. I used to try going to the gym. I just thought that going to the gym was going to make me lose weight, and I'd run on that damn treadmill. And I don't know if you've ever tried it, but like working out, and you have to work so freaking hard to lose that weight, and only to find that it's not really working. And look, I'm getting off track of my whole story, I suppose, but I can't help it. I can't help it because I'm going to share what's going to help you, what's going to work for you. And when we look at food, okay, how much you eat is the biggest marker. What's the quantity of food that you're eating? Not necessarily even what, but how much are you eating? What can matter too, but how much you are eating really matters. And you can easily consume 100, 200 calories in just like a protein bar. Okay, I have a protein bar. I don't have it here. I can show it on video otherwise, but my one protein bar, it's a no-cal bar. It's 200 calories. Do you know how much exercise you have to do to burn 200 calories? I mean, it's like an hour worth of exercise, depending on what you do, of course. And then on top of it, you can't control how much you're burning. Your body controls how much you're burning. The machine might say 200, but you might really only burn 100. You can't control it. So I focused on those things in my past. I focused on those external things that just kept me all through the years trying a diet, losing weight, counting calories, losing weight, just trying by willpower to not eat that ice cream at night, sitting on the couch, watching our show at night, eating from the pint of ice cream container. And I couldn't, I could say no for a little while, but then at some point, I break, right? I need the ice cream. I'm too stressed out. I'm too tired. I've been working too much. This isn't working. Kid's stressing me out. Whatever it is, I need the ice cream. And food really is what? A break, right? It's something to do. It gets our mind off of the stresses that we've had during the day. Okay, so I tried for many years to lose weight unsuccessfully. And I had the whole roller coaster thing going. What worked for me? There was one particular day. I'll never forget this day. It's like the pivotal moment. Like if you were looking at a timeline and I'm going straight, and then I hit this dot, and then the line goes up, right? I take a new path. There was one specific day that did that. And I think it was 2015. I didn't note the date back then, but it was right around there. And I was a banquet server here in Las Vegas, and I drove home. And when I got home, so I had been. Let me tell you what I was doing at the time. I'm a business owner. Okay, I was trying to sell products on Amazon, and before that, and during that time as well, selling online information stuff. For any of you who have built websites before, I built websites on WordPress, and I learned how to secure them against hackers. And I wrote the first WordPress security ebook on how to secure your blog against hackers. It's called WordPress Defender. but anyways, I wrote those things, and I would try to sell my products online, my information products and stuff. And then I tried selling on Amazon, and I would source things from China, and I would source things from America, and I would get them brought here, and I'd get them online. And I gathered all this information on how to do all these things that the successful people are doing. And I got my stuff on Amazon. And then I ended up creating this software because I knew WordPress. I created WordPress software, create these landing pages to be able to sell my stuff and collect email addresses and give out coupon codes and do all these things. And you know what? In the end, I wasn't making the kind of money that I would be expecting to make for all the effort that I was putting in. And it was like I was spinning my wheels. I was getting so close to getting myself successful, but then it was just not enough. I just couldn't cross that barrier. And so I always had to keep working my banquet function, my banquet job, my full-time job, because I could never figure out the online sales thing. And so I got home, and I remember I drove home after work, and I sat in the car for a moment. I turned off the car, and I sat, not in the driveway, it was a cul-de-sac, and I parked my car in the street, and I just sat there, and I thought to myself, what the heck, man? What the hell? Why am I learning all these things that all these other people are doing, the actual things that they are doing, and they are finding success and I am not? And if you translate that into maybe your weight loss journey, you could look at that like, well, how is it that I'm trying to do all those things that that person over there is doing and they lost the weight, they're keeping it off, but why do I keep giving up? Why do I keep not figuring it out? Why do I keep gaining the weight back? Right? That was where I was, but with my business stuff. And this is what's going to end up it's going to bleed into me losing weight. I'm going to explain it here in a moment. It's all going to tie in. And so I sat there and thought about it. And you know what I realized? I had an epiphany. Okay, I had an epiphany. And that epiphany was, oh my God, it's me. Everything's about me. There's nothing wrong with the information that's out there, the how-to information. What the problem, if you want to call it that, circumstance, the issue, whatever, is with the way that I'm applying it in my life, with how I am using that information. I realized that I had to work on myself, that I had to become that person that could use that information, right? Because look, I can tell you right now how to lose weight. Super, super fast. I can tell you how to lose weight. All right, you want to know how to do it? All right, I'm going to tell you right now. All right, you can choose if you want a couple different paths. I'm going to give you just one though. Eat very low carbohydrates, eat like, let's say 10 to 15 grams of carbohydrates per day. Go to the gym 5 days a week. I want you to lift weights and I want you to build muscle. Take some creatine. I want you to eat 150 grams of protein a day. I want you to drink 64 ounces of water. I want you to go for a walk after your meals. I want you to start meditating and getting your mind right and visualizing all of those things. Okay? And I want you to eat only whole foods. You're not allowed to eat processed foods. No boxed foods, no cookies, no cakes, no ice cream, none of that stuff. Just if it flies in the air, if it walks on the ground, if it grows in the ground, if it swims in the water, you can have it, and that's it. And to drink, you're only allowed to have water, unsweetened iced tea, and unsweetened coffee. Okay, there you go. You do all those things. Oh, and I want you to make sure that you count calories and that you are eating in a 500 per day calorie deficit. Now, if you did all those things and you did them perfect, do you think you would lose weight? Probably, right? I mean, there's a damn good chance that you're going to end up losing the weight you want. Now, what's the chances that you're going to be able to stick to it? Probably zero. Probably zero. And that's because, and there's people out there who do that, but it's because you're not one of those people. You're not one of those people. There's people who are those people. They count every single calorie they put in their mouth. They weigh their food. They watch every single little thing. They eat the proper amount of protein. They lift weights. They exercise. But just like they, just like they aren't a race car driver, so they can't do race car things, you are not a fitness expert person, I'm assuming, So how can we expect you to do those things? Now, if you learn to become more like that kind of person, maybe you could do more of those kinds of things. So reeling it back down to me, I realized I wasn't that person. I wasn't the person that the people who I was following and telling me to do these things, how to sell on Amazon and do these things and get people to buy your product and all these things, I wasn't that person. I didn't have that mindset. I didn't know how to organize myself properly. I didn't know how to think with the correct thoughts, because I kept telling myself, I suck at this. I should be further along by now. I should be figuring it out. It's too hard. Why is this not working for me? It works for everybody else. Why is that person able to quit their job and I'm not? Now, do you say those similar kind of things to yourself at all? Do you tell yourself things like, I'm too busy to figure out how to lose weight. I'm too busy to cook my own meals. I'd try doing the same things that they're doing, but I just can't stick with it. Okay, it's all the same stuff. It's all the same stuff. The mindset, it's all the same. And so I realized it was all about me, and that set me on a path of personal development. That set me on the path of personal development. And now the first book I read, because back then, it was all about business kind of stuff and online marketing and everything. The first book I read was Think and Grow Rich. And that led me to Andrew Carnegie, who was a person who was trying to help people have the proper mindset. And then I started listening to people like who I consider my first mentor, even though I've never met him. But a guy by the name of Jim Rohn, he was Tony Robbins' first mentor. They actually kind of knew each other and everything. But something that Jim Rohn said that I live my life by, and that is, you have to work harder on yourself than you do your job. And that really stuck with me. And I started on that whole path of personal development. I've read so many books. I've listened to so many audiobooks. I've watched documentaries. I watched things on YouTube. I watch all the things about personal development because my identity shifted. My identity shifted to being somebody who wanted to grow and evolve as a person and get better. And so now here's where that transitioned into me finally being able to lose weight. So I was selling on Amazon, and I had my software that I was trying to sell for helping people who sell on Amazon create these landing pages to give out coupon codes and everything. And I was realizing that I was getting tired before noon. Like it'd be like 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning, and I was ready for a freaking nap. And at this point, I had kind of given up on trying to lose weight because I had tried everything under the sun other than becoming vegan or vegetarian. Nothing against them. It's just telling you I never tried it. I love meat. But I tried all the different things. Nothing ever worked. I hated running on treadmills. I'd run on treadmill. I remember I threw in the towel one time. I was like, I'm not doing this anymore. It wasn't working, and I hated every single step on that treadmill. So I was like, you know what? I need to read a book on how to get more energy, how to lift brain fog, because I was having really bad brain fog. So how can I lift that off of me, and how can I get more energy? And that led me to a book called Brain Maker by a neurologist named Dr. Perlmutter. And I listened to that book, Brain Maker. I got the audiobook. And he was talking about like your gut bacteria and everything, but he kept referencing his first book, which was Grain Brain. And so I ended up reading that one next, or I should say listen to, because I got the audiobooks. And he talked all about the science of carbohydrates and fat and protein and things like that. And you know what? The science really stuck with me. And so I actually went on a keto diet, which is very similar to the Atkins diet. But this time, my mindset was a little bit different. Now, let me just preface this with the fact that you don't have to go on a keto diet and you do not have to go on a low carb diet and by any means to lose the weight that you want to lose. Okay. You don't have to do that. If this was just my path that I got there, the thing that really got me to lose weight, because look, you can do any diet is going to help you lose weight. Okay. Diet. All right. But the mental struggle is what you have to work on the most, and finding a strategy that works for you, which is something that I try to help people with. But for me, my own personal area, I was ready to have more energy. And the keto diet makes you have these ketones, which are really good for energy and keeping focus and everything. I'm like, yes, I need ketones. I need to do that. The thing is that I jumped in really hard on it. I jumped off if there was a deep end, I jumped in it, okay? From the high board. I did a high dive right into it. And I actually went too hard, and all the fat that I was consuming, the extra oil, the MCT oils and stuff, it started messing up my gut. And my skin was getting oily, and your skin's not even supposed to get oily. You can't secrete oil out of your skin, which is really weird. But it was a gut thing. I actually started hurting my gut. Like exactly what Dr. Perlmutter was like, your gut is super important to your health. And here I am, I must be hurting it. And I changed things way too much, and I actually developed an eating disorder. I looked at food like it was poison. Okay. I was working at the Hard Rock Hotel, and I would go there. I was eating super, super clean. I mean, if it had a nitrate in it, it was off limits. If it was sprayed with any kind of pesticide, it was off limits. If it was not just a perfectly clean food, I would not have it. And I worked very long hours doing banquets, and I could only eat really what was there. And even if I did go to the employee dining room, they didn't have things that were really, keto centered. And so I really didn't eat a whole lot, and I lost too much weight. Now here's the thing. Now that I'm a coach and looking back, I can look back, hindsight they say is 20/20, right? And I can see where I made a bunch of mistakes and where I could have improved a little bit better. And one of them was protein. Oh my God. I ate so little protein because I didn't want it to kick me out of ketosis. I didn't want to eat too much protein. And when I lost weight, because I was consuming so few calories, because I wouldn't eat anything. Nothing was clean enough. I'd have to come home and have very specific kinds of food that I would eat. And so I wouldn't eat anything at work, and I lost too much weight. There was the point where I was higher in weight, and then I kind of got down to about equal. I was like, hey, I'm looking good and everything. And then it just kept losing, and I lost too much. And what happened was, looking back on it, the 20/20 I'm talking about here, is that I wasn't eating enough protein, and I probably should have been lifting a little bit of weights to do a little resistance training, because it wasn't just body fat that I lost. What I lost was muscle. I lost muscle and body fat at the same time, and you do not want to lose muscle. Ideally, you want to keep your muscle at least, right? Or build muscle is the best, but I lost both. And I didn't see it at the time. I just saw myself as being ultra healthy. But then I started getting the comments. People saying, John, you look like you need to eat a hamburger and stuff. And, I don't let those things bother me too much. And I know it does bother a lot of my clients when people are harsh on them. So I help my clients through that on what to do and everything. But for me, it's like, okay, whatever, I know what I'm doing. But, after a while, I'm looking at pictures of myself. I realized I am looking really skinny. And now I'm even still on the lighter side of my weight. I'm in the normal zone for the height that I am in, but I'm on the lower end of my weight. But anyways, go back to where I was. So I did the keto diet to lose weight. But what shifted for me, this is the important nugget that is helpful for you in your journey, is that it's not what specifically you pick as far as your diet or anything like that, but it's the mindset that you have. The mindset is what allowed me to keep on this, because the Atkins diet was very similar to the keto diet, which I tried back in 2000, and I couldn't stick with it. But here I am doing this keto diet, which was arguably even more difficult to maintain, and I was able to maintain it. And that's because my purpose was different. The reason why and what I wanted and what I wanted to get out of it, that all that changed. And these days, I don't necessarily consider myself low carb, though if you look at the standard American diet, you could say I'm low carb in that regard, because look, I'm not over consuming carbohydrates. That's the way I look at it. I consume kind of a normal amount. I mostly try to stick with whole and low processed foods is what I eat these days. And that's not what you have to do to lose weight, by the way. But you can get yourself there if you want to improve health, but we need to start somewhere. Maybe, just like we were talking, where you aren't necessarily that fitness person. I'm assuming for a moment that you're not that fitness person. There's probably also a gap between where I am now and where you are right now. And if you're trying to lose weight and you're trying to figure it out and you were struggling like I used to struggle, then we need to get you there. And when getting you there doesn't mean doing everything all at once. All right. Now, as far as how much weight I lost, so I always have to do the calculation. I think it was 60 pounds. I got up to, what was it? 210, 215 in that area. And I actually went down to 150, and I was a little I lost too much weight. So I've got my weight back up. I'm around 170 right now, which, like I said, I could probably gain a little bit more muscle is really what I want. It's just going to the gym, right? Anyway, so that's about how much weight I lost. I lost somewhere around, it was like around 60 pounds, 65 pounds. And then I bumped it back up a little bit more from there. But, what you should be taking from my journey there in that is that you got to work on yourself harder than you do your job. All right. And the mental aspect is the thing that changed for me, that got me to where I want to be, that I can sustain and I can last. And this podcast episode is not about how to do that change. I have other episodes that do that. And in my program, it's called the Focused Fork Reset. I help people do that inside my program. And, when I bring on clients and stuff, I show them how to do those kinds of things, walk through certain exercises to start reprogramming our mind to do those kinds of things. All right. So anyways, I transitioned at some point to low carb, just being low carb. So keto is like you eat 20 grams of carbs per day. Low carb is anything below really like 80 grams, 100 grams per day. And I transitioned to that. So I was eating somewhere around 80 grams of carbohydrates per day. And by the way, carbs, you don't have to do low carb to lose weight, like I said already. And carbs aren't necessarily the thing that make you fat. Okay, I say fat because body fat is what we're talking about here. It's not necessarily the carbs. It's just the overconsumption of food. And I actually started helping people then when I kind of figured things out and I started to, I realized I lost too much weight and I really dug into health, nutrition, how to have a healthy weight, the proper things to do. I started helping other people do it. And I was actually known as my low carb coach. And I was helping people lose weight by helping them go on a low carb diet and eating higher protein. So I was teaching people kind of like an Atkins diet, a little bit different in some ways, but low carb, high protein diet is what I was showing people how to lose weight with. And it worked. It worked really well for people. Now I've had a transition from where how I used to teach people then to how I teach people now. And here's what that transition was that one day, one of my clients, I had checked in with her and she said, yeah, you know what, John, I was doing good for a while, but then I kind of fell off. And yeah, I'm kind of eating these other foods that I used to eat, and I've gained a lot of weight. She had double knee surgery. And I'm thinking to myself, we shouldn't have fallen off of anything. You should this is the way you are, right? And then I realized, I looked back at what my journey was and all of these things I've been talking about with you here. And what I realized was that I wasn't really showing people how to become the kind of person that can eat the kind of foods that they want to eat and still lose weight. I was showing them how to eat this low carb, high protein diet that, people wanted to do so that they could lose weight, but they didn't want to do it for the rest of their lives. Some of them did, but not everybody. So I want to help people. I want to grow, learn, evolve. That's one of my personal things that I want to do is I want to evolve as a person. And so I'm always learning. I'm always evolving. I'm reading books. I'm going to conferences. I'm doing all the things I need to do to try and help you better. And I evolve. And as I evolve, so does the information that I help people with. So now I help people lose weight by meeting them kind of where they are right now. All right. Do you want to keep eating the kind of foods that you're eating? Probably. Do you want to keep going to the gym as much or as little or not at all as you currently are doing? Probably. Okay. Well, how can I work with that with people? How can I work with that? And how can we help you to lose weight? So I transitioned to that. And what I looked at with my own, when I looked back, was one, mindset, the thoughts that you're thinking, because if you keep telling yourself this is too hard, it's not working, I'm too busy, I don't have the time, yada, 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 then guess what? It's going to be hard and you'll never have time for, and you're never going to get, and you're just going to keep giving up on losing weight, right? So we got to get past that. And then what I did was I learned how to eat food a proper amount and not overconsume food, because I was overconsuming food. That's why I had all the weight. Look, in the end, to lose weight, we need to consume fewer calories than we are consuming right now. Okay. However you want to look at making that happen, that's what has to happen. We have to consume fewer calories. And there's a lot of ways to do it. And there's ways that are a little bit more, I suppose you could say easier or enjoyable or something, because it kind of goes along with what you're already doing. And that's what I did was I was consuming fewer calories, and I was doing it in a way that I felt that I could maintain. So now I help people do that, and I put together a system that they could follow. It's a framework that if you just follow the framework, and it's very closely related to what you're already doing, and we're just improving and learning how to eat mindfully and a few other things, getting our mindset proper and everything like that, what you should do when you mess up, or anything like that, then we can lose the weight. All right. So that's kind of my story. That's how I got started. I'm trying to think if there's anything else, that maybe I did that would be helpful for you in my journey. But for the most part, yeah, that's it. I had an epiphany of me needing to change. And when I changed on the inside, when I changed my thoughts and my purpose, my why for wanting to lose weight changed, and I was on board with it, I was able to lose all the weight that I wanted to lose. And you can too. And I want to help you with that, okay? If you're listening to this, guess what? I do coaching. I help people lose weight. And if you want to sample my coaching style, okay? Hey, let's see if we're a good fit first, right? No need to jump right in and like, is John going to be able to help me or not? Do I like his coaching or whatever? Well, you can sample it for free. I put together a free course. It's a 3-day mini course. and you just go to focusedforkreset.com/free. That link will also be in the show notes of this episode. And you can always check any of my social media or anything. I'm always linking to it. But focusedforkreset.com/free. And if you go there, then just input in your name and your email. I'm not going to give away your email. I won't sell it to another party. Look, I hate spam just as much as you. I get robocalls on my phone like freaking 3 times, 4 times a day, and spam text messages and stuff. I would not do that to you, trust me. So I will keep your email only for me and the people, here in my, it will stay with my company, the Focused Fork, and we will not sell it or anything. So it's safe. But give your email address, put it in there, and get started with video 1. I've got 3 really, really cool things that I want to show you, that if you are a busy person, if your calendar is always busy, if you travel a lot for work, if you fly and you travel places, if you just travel in town a lot, or if you're a busy executive, you work at the Hard Rock Hotel and you're the VP or something like that, then the VP, I just said that twice. Then I get it. You're busy. All right. And I'm a super busy person myself. And I can find time for my health. And I'm going to show you inside this mini course some things that you can do to help you lose weight that can be long-term and sustainable, that really isn't going to take a lot of extra effort on your part. It can kind of fit in. Day 2 is one I'm super excited to show you about, because I'm all about ancient wisdom. I think that before all of this technology and everything was here, we humans had to rely on understanding people a little bit better, understanding how we work, how our thoughts are and everything. And a lot of that ancient wisdom is there on how to improve ourselves better. And I make use of some ancient wisdom out there that I found very helpful at helping you to lose weight. Okay, so check that one out. That's day 2. All right, again, go to focusedforkreset.com/free. I'll see you there. Sample my coaching. And thank you for listening to this first episode of the podcast. I will see you in episode 2. Bye.